Namaskar. Today we will see hypoglossal nerve. Hypoglossal nerve is the 12th cranial nerve. It supplies all muscles of tongue except palatoglossus. The palatoglossus muscle is supplied by cranial accessory via the pharyngeal plexus. The hypoglossal nerve is a pure motor nerve, and the component present in it is somatic efferent. The nucleus of this component lies in whole length of medulla and supply the muscles of tongue. All intrinsic and extrinsic muscles of tongue are supplied by hypoglossal nerve except palatoglossus muscle, which is one of the extrinsic muscle. The hypoglossal nucleus lies in whole length of medulla. In upper part of medulla, it lies in the floor of fourth ventricle beneath the hypoglossal triangle, while in the lower closed medulla, it lies in ventromedial position, ventromedial to the central canal. Central canal is cavity of lower part of medulla, while in the upper part of medulla, the hypoglossal nucleus is in dorsomedial position beneath the floor of the fourth ventricle, beneath the hypoglossal triangle. The nucleus is in dorsomedial position. The hypoglossal nerve begins from the hypoglossal nucleus and passes forward between medial longitudinal bundle, medial lemniscus, and the pyramid on medial side, and the inferior olivary nucleus on lateral side. So, in the upper half of medulla, hypoglossal nucleus is in dorsomedial position, while in the lower half of medulla, it is ventromedial to the central canal. The hypoglossal nerve comes out by 10 to 15 rootlets from the anterolateral sulcus. Anterolateral sulcus lies between pyramid and olive. These 10 to 15 rootlets join to form two bundles, and these bundles lies dorsal to the fourth part of vertebral artery. The two bundles enters in the hypoglossal canal and join to form the single nerve. The hypoglossal nerve is deep to the internal jugular vein, the 9th, 10th and 11th cranial nerves, and the internal carotid artery. From the hypoglossal canal, the nerve passes laterally. It curves around the inferior ganglion of the vagus nerve. After curving the inferior ganglion of vagus, the nerve passes downward anterior to vagus nerve. In this part, it is deep to the posterior belly of digastric muscle. Then the nerve comes out, it lies below the posterior belly of digastric, it comes in the carotid triangle. In the carotid triangle, the nerve lies deep to the skin, superficial fascia with platysma, and the investing layer of deep cervical fascia and common fascial veins. The nerve passes forward. It crosses the various structures from lateral side. It crosses the internal carotid artery, lower sternocleidomastoid branch of the occipital artery, the external carotid artery, and the loop of the first part of lingual artery. Then the nerve passes in the digastric triangle. Here it lies on the surface of hyoglossus and then reaches the genioglossus, where it divides into multiple branches to supply the muscles of tongue, all muscles of tongue except palatoglossus. At the anterior border of hyoglossus muscle, it has communication with the lingual nerve. In the digastric triangle, the hypoglossal nerve is related laterally with superficial part of the submandibular salivary gland and the mylohyoid muscle. Let us see this diagram. This is the symphysis menti. The superior genial tubercle gives origin to genioglossus muscle. It spread in fan-like manner, while the inferior genial tubercle gives origin to geniohyoid muscle. This is the hyoid bone. It has body, lesser cornea and greater cornea, and greater cornea of the hyoid bone gives origin to hyoglossus muscle. This is the hyoglossus muscle. So, hypoglossal nerve lies lateral to hyoglossus, and above it lies the loop of lingual nerve, and suspended by lingual nerve by two roots lies the submandibular ganglion, and then deep part of the submandibular salivary gland with the duct, submandibular duct. In this part, the hypoglossal nerve is accompanied by vena comitans. This is the first part of lingual artery. It forms a loop. Lingual artery is anterior branch of the external carotid artery. External carotid artery is branch of common carotid. The another branch of common carotid is internal carotid artery. The external carotid artery gives three anterior branches: superior thyroid artery, lingual artery, facial artery. Two posterior branches, the occipital and posterior auricular artery. One medial branch, that is ascending pharyngeal artery. In the carotid sheath, artery is medial. In the lower part, common carotid. In the upper part, internal carotid. The vein is lateral. Internal jugular vein is lateral, and in between the artery and vein and posterior to them lies the vagus nerve, and this is the inferior ganglion of vagus nerve. The 9th, 10th and 11th nerves comes out through the intermediate compartment of the jugular foramen, and this is the hypoglossal canal or anterior condylar canal. The hypoglossal nerve comes out through this canal. Now we will see the branches of the hypoglossal nerve. The hypoglossal nerve comes out from the hypoglossal canal, and it reaches the surface of genioglossus, where it supplies all muscles of tongue except palatoglossus. But during the course, it receives a branch from the ventral ramus of C1. Now these fibers of C1 are carried by the hypoglossal nerve, and over the carotid sheath, the hypoglossal nerve gives superior root of ansa cervicalis or descendens hypoglossae. The superior root of ansa cervicalis supply superior belly of omohyoid muscle, and it meets with inferior root of ansa cervicalis, which comes from C2 and C3. It is also called as descendens cervicalis. The superior root and inferior root join to form a loop which is called as ansa cervicalis. The ansa cervicalis supplies sternohyoid, sternothyroid and inferior belly of omohyoid. Some fibers of the C1 are carried by the hypoglossal nerve. Hypoglossal nerve gives one meningeal branch. It again enters in the posterior cranial fossa through the hypoglossal canal and supply the meninges in the anterior part of the posterior cranial fossa and also supply the diploid. Some fibers of C1 are carried forward by the hypoglossal nerve and they supply geniohyoid and thyrohyoid muscle. So hypoglossal nerve gives various branches like meningeal branch, the superior root of ansa cervicalis, nerve to geniohyoid and nerve to thyrohyoid. All these are coming from C1. But the hypoglossal nerve itself supply all muscles of tongue except palatoglossus. Now we will see the applied anatomy. In injury to the hypoglossal nerve, there is paralysis of muscles of tongue. If there is unilateral paralysis, when the patient protracts the tongue, the tip of tongue deviates to the paralyzed side, and while doing retraction, the paralyzed side is raised higher than the normal side. In case of bilateral paralysis, means when both hypoglossal nerves are injured, the tongue becomes motionless, but the taste or tactile sensations remain unaffected. The articulation is slow and the swallowing becomes difficult. Now coming to the connections, the hypoglossal nucleus receives corticonuclear fibers mainly from contralateral side, but some fibers comes from the ipsilateral same side. And these fibers mainly comes from precentral gyrus, that is area number 4, primary motor area, but some fibers also comes from area 6. The hypoglossal nerve have connection with cerebellum, reticular formation of medulla. During the course, the hypoglossal nerve have communications with the sympathetic trunk, means it receives a communication from superior cervical sympathetic ganglion. It is also having connection with the inferior ganglion of vagus, around which it winds. It receives the communication from loop between C1 and C2, the first and second cervical ventral rami, and the fibers of C1 are carried by the hypoglossal nerve. And at the anterior border of hyoglossus muscle, the hypoglossal nerve communicates with lingual nerve. Thank you.